How's it going, everybody? I am Mr. Bo, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the King's Full Raid Armor sets for the Warlock, Hunter and the Titan. Now each class actually has two sets of armor for the raid, one probably for the normal version and the other set for the heroic version. Now with this armor we also get an idea of what we might be able to expect during the raid due to some perks and also due to the description of some of the armor. So let's start off with the Warlock armor. Firstly, we have the helmet, which is the mouth of Ur. The description reads, "For the more light the worms consume, the hungrier they become." The chest is the chasm of Yol. The description reads, "A clue of writhing things there were also on that cusp between light and darkness." We then have the gauntlets, the grasp of Ear. The description reads, "At the beginning, they stood in thrall of the Formless One, and they offered themselves to its depth." And for the boots, we have the path of Zol. "Bound together, their power knows no limit, save their thirst for more." Now along with the normal armor set, we then have a Harrowed version, which is the heroic version, and as you can see they have a different colour for each set. The normal set has the sort of normal hive kind of look to it, the sort of grey brown, whereas the Harrowed version has a black and sort of neon-y green look to it. We can then move on to the Titan set. Firstly we have the Titan helmet, which is the War Numen's crown. The description reads, "Show them you can contain multitudes and your interiority will spawn nightmares." The chest is the War Numen's chest. The description reads, "Death is the game is always death." The gauntlets are the War Numen's fists, and the description reads, "The start is always the same, enter his court and call him out." And finally we have the War Numen's boots. "Speak and the darkness obeys, command and the song turns upon himself." And of course we then have the Harrowed version. Now it is interesting to see that the description of the Titan armor gives us clues as to what the steps of the raid might actually be. For example, it says enter the court and call him out, obviously referencing the court of Oryx, which is where the raid will start. It also talks about containing multitudes and turning a song against himself. So that is interesting to see. Obviously we don't know anything about the raid, so it is hard to tell at the moment, but it is interesting to see that that might give us clues as to what we could expect in the raid. We then have the Hunter armor. Firstly we have the helmet, which is the dark hollow mask. The description reads, "The Dreadnaught is a blighted hollow gorged into our universe, Eris Morn." The chest piece is the dark hollow chiton. The description reads, "Heartless and cruel is their realm, but in some ways more malleable than your own." The gauntlets are the dark hollow grasps. The description is, "All the vastness of our universe is but a blank page on which they scrawl their words of hate and death." And then finally we have the dark hollow treads, and the description reads, "Even now the daughters of Oryx weave black words of blight to bind his realm to ours, Eris Morn." And of course we also have the Harrowed version of that armor set. Now let's take a look at some of these perks. So we have perks that are sort of similar across the board for helmets, chest pieces, gauntlets and leg pieces. So for the helmets we have Shine On, increased super energy gained from killing minions of the darkness, not really anything cool there. And then we have the raid perk for the helmet, which is Take That. All pickups create the chance for temporary bonus precision damage to the taken. For the chest we have Mortal Medicine, gain a bonus to recovery per grenade kill, stacks for 20 seconds, and the raid perk here is called Old God's Boon, increased armor while carrying the King's Full Relic. So this confirms to us we are going to be seeing a relic like we saw in Crota's End and the Vault of Glass. How that works we're not sure at the moment, and what it will actually be, again we don't know, but it is cool to see we are going to be having a relic mechanic in this raid. For the gauntlets we have Glutton, receive bonus melee energy for each enemy standing nearby you when you get a kill. And then the raid perk is Body System, faster weapon reload while in an aura. Now we're not entirely sure what an aura is. It might be something like the Weight of Darkness in Crota's End, where you'll have the debuff on you, or it could be an area in which you need to go and stand in order to maybe get cleansed, and you'll just be able to reload faster in that area. And then for the boots we have Fists Flying, gain a boost to agility per melee kill, stacks for 20 seconds. And the raid perk here is Run for your life, increased agility while torn between dimensions. Now again this is interesting because it tells us we are going to be going through dimensions. We know Oryx takes enemies, rips them out of our dimension into his, turns them into the Taken and then puts them back into our dimension. Possibly we're going to be seeing ourselves dragged out of the dimension into his. Maybe teammates will be turned against each other or something like that. That'd be cool to see. But this really reminds me of the Vault of Glass, having to go to the past and the future when fighting Atheon. So hopefully it's something like that. Will be definitely interesting to see. So that is all the raid armor for the King's Fall. 2 sets for each class. We have a normal version and a harrowed version. And then those are all the perks of the raid armor as well. We don't know, some of these might change before the launch next Friday. Let me know, out of all the sets here, which is your favorite. Do you like the fact that it's going to be 2 armor sets, one for normal and one for the heroic? That was originally what they had planned for the Vault of Glass, but we never saw 2 armor sets for that, so it is cool to see they're finally doing that with this raid. Let me know if you are excited for the raid, and let me know if you guys would like to see me go through all the raid weapons. And of course, once I finally get all the raid armor for my Warlock, then I'll do a video showing him off, showing what the armor looks like with a load of different shaders like I normally do for you guys. But if you guys missed my previous video in which I went over all the emblems that you're going to be able to get in the Taken King, as well as some raid emblems which may hint to how many bosses we're going to be seeing in the raid, you won't want to miss that. You can click the image on screen or the link in the description below. Feel free to give the like button a big old hug and subscribe for tons more Destiny content and coverage. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.